The topic for today, SAP kernel upgrade or kernel update, right? So that is the topic. Means during the installation time, we are choosing the kernel. So that time we are choosing the kernel. But as per SAP, every 3 months or every 6 months once, we need to update the SAP kernels. We need to update the SAP kernels here every 3 months or every 6 months. We have to update the SAP kernels in the system. Why? Because kernels are the OS level executable files. If the kernels are fine, everything is working as expected, then we won't face any dumps above dumps and everything. We won't face it here. So that's the reason we may have to update our system kernels here. So kernels means we have the three locations our kernel files are exist, right? So one is the USR, SAP, SID, then sys and exe. This is the one location. This is the global exe location. The second location is called the USR, SAP, then SID, then D instance number slash exe. The third one is called the ASS exe. ASS exe here. D instance number slash sorry ASS instance number slash exe. These two are the local exe directories here. These two are the local exe directories here. These two are the local exe directories here. So the global and local exe directory, we need to replace the kernels in this new directories here. We have to replace it here. We have to replace it here. So how to do that one? How to do that one here? So the kernel upgrade, how to replace the kernel files here. So to perform this activity, so first of all, we need to check the current kernel version. So if I draft the steps here, kernel upgrade steps here, the first we need to check the current kernel version which is there in the system. The current kernel version, right? Either we can check in the SAP level SM51, then the release information you will get the otherwise OS level just with SID ADM. If you use the display work command, it will give you the kernel related information here. So based on that, so download the latest kernel files from the service marketplace. So download center, SAP download center. I can say simply SAP download center here. SAP download center. We can download the latest kernels from here, right? So then before downloading or just to review the one main thing is here the review the review the release information note, release information note before applying the kernel. We need to put a one of the best practices is called the review the release information note. Why? Because sometimes we blindly download the one kernel, so but that kernel is not compatible, then SAP system will not be started. So while doing this one, so we have to review the release information note here. So there is a note. When you select it, you will get the release information note here, which means the target kernel, what is the OS version, what is the DB version, what is the SAP version, you should apply this kernel here. So that is the very important here, reviewing the release note before applying the kernel here. So then once you download the note, then once you download the kernel, extract the kernel files, extract the kernel files, extract the kernel files, then move to application server level where you are going to do the application server level here. So where you are going to update the kernels, wherever your kernel directories are there, means application server. Then you have to go to the application server level. We have to move it. Then then in the once you extract the move it here, then here we need for the kernel upgrade, we need to stop the SAP application. For the kernel upgrades, we need to stop the SAP application. So for that one, so request the downtime approval. Downtime. So process wise also we are going here. Request the downtime approval, or So align with the, just we have to align with the downtime approval from the your manager. Align with the, so downtime. So then during the downtime, we need to stop the SAP application. We need to stop the SAP application. Then, so this is the very important. Just to replace the new kernel files into the existing exe directories. Existing exe directories, you have to replace it here. So old kernels, and on top of the old kernel, you are replacing the new kernels. The new kernels will come into the picture here. So once done it, you replace it done, then start the SAP system. Start the SAP system. Then log into the SAP system, log into the SAP system, then perform the checks. Perform the checks here. So this is what we have to do it here. These are the steps we need to follow to perform the kernel upgrade. Any kernel, any system kernel upgrade. So these are the steps we have to perform it in the systems. Suppose example here, you see, so kernel files means they are the, so total two files here, SAP exe. This is the DB independent file, DB independent file, right? Then SAP exe, SAP exe DB, two files we have to download it here. Second one is the DB dependent file, DB dependent files we have to download from the service marketplace. So how to do that one? When you go to the service marketplace, support pack and patches, the first of all, you need to check your current kernel version here. Suppose if you go to the system SM51 here, then you can see the release notes here. So go to the release notes. Here you will see the kernel version 753 1300 is the latest version. This is the latest version, 753 1300, 753 1300 here. So this is the kernel files here. Okay, you downloaded the 753 here. So this is the way we can check the kernel version. Or we can also go to NWD. So any system, the same procedure. You can go to the SAP basis. Then you can just check the, check at the data at the SAP level SM51 active application servers. There is a option called the release note. Here you can see the information. So you have the 753 is the kernel and the patch level is the 1300. Means within the 753 we have the 1000, 1100, 1200, 1300. Maybe in the next upcoming they may release the 1400 as well. Kernel means it's a OS level binaries here. If the SAP system is up and running means the kernels are very important here. We may have to update the kernels here. 1300 is the latest version here, latest patch level, right? So suppose this is the release. This is the release. Within the release, they may release the patches. So patches means sub. Patches means sub here. The main is the release version here. So if you are updating the only patch levels, 1300 to 1400 or 12 to 1300, that is the kernel patch upgrade. Kernel patch upgrade. You are upgrading from kernel from 753 to 754. That is called the kernel release upgrade. Why? Because that is the release. You are upgrading the kernel release upgrade here. You are doing the release upgrade information, right? That is the kernel release. Okay. So that is the kernel release information here. Okay. These things we have to consider here. Okay, got it? So then we have checked the kernel version, then download the latest kernels. K means kernel, right? Just to go to the, where is the K here? So here, yeah, this is the K. So here we can go to, so kernel 64-bit. Nowadays, everything will be the 64-bit versions only here, right? So then 753. So let's see 753, 754. Then we have the 785, 7, all are there here. But let's check, go to the 753. Here, ours is the Windows. What is the latest version? It is available here. So SAP EXE, SAP EXE DB, we have to download. So we already in the latest versions, right? 7, we already in the latest versions here. So then that's fine, right? Then after the 750, there is nothing is released. Then we can go for the 754. Directly we can go for the 754 also. We can update it here. Let's see. So what is the 753 version we have here? So here in the 753, sorry, 754, we have the 300 is the latest one, right? So then just to download the 753, the latest file we have to download from the service marketplace here, right? So just I downloaded from the service marketplace. I'm downloading. One is the one is the so DB independent file, DB independent file. The second one is the so DB dependent file, DB dependent file here. So then one is the SAP exe, SAP exe DB. Both you have to download the same version here, same patch levels, right? Same patch level here. So what is our source here? Our source is like a here. Our source version is a 753 release, then patch level 1300, patch level 1300. To what we are going, our target is the 754 release to patch level 300 we are going. This is the target kernel we are applying in the our systems here, right? So this is what we are going to do now, right? So here source and target you are getting downloaded, right? So here see download the latest kernel. Then there is a one word we have mentioned, like we need to review the release note. Why? Because for our SAP version, and also here the blindly people will go and apply the kernel, then after that system will not start. So that is not the correct procedure. If you go to the content information, you will get the some information whether this kernel will support your SAP versions or not. Why? Because kernel always depend on the your SAP release version. So your SAP basis release version here. So then here, if you see here, so SAP kernel always depend upon the our SAP release version here. So let's see what is the our SAP release version here. So here you will get the some information here saying that this kernel will support or not. You will get the some content details, some detail information. Also you will get the what are the issues are fixed in this kernel. All the information you will get it out here, right? So here this is the database SAP table 740, 750, 751, 752 up to 790. So which means you can update the kernels. So just you can go to the this one. So here we go to the release information note here. So ours is the 750. I know this is the 750 NetWeaver 7.50. This is the one. Or our ECC versions also the same thing only here. So but there is a dumps, lot of dumps are generating. Means NWD also is not in good shape here. So let's check here one more system. See here 750 or SAP basis release version 750, and here the version is 750. This is applicable. This is applicable for means this kernel 754 release 300 is applicable for our version 2, our version also here. So then here it will give the information what are the issues it is fixed here. You can see the what are the issues it's fixed. Then you have got the all the issues here. So these all are the issues which are fixed in this kernel. So if you have this type of issues, SAP will check this release information node, then will ask you to update the kernel to the the latest versions, update the kernel to the latest versions to fix the issues here, So we can update this kernels. You can see here, just we can update it here. So if you have this type of issues in your landscape, so just check the kernel release information. This is listed in the kernel or not. If it is listed, then what you can do, we can update the kernels, then your issues will be fixed. So like that, you need to review the release note. Like that, we need to check the our kernel information as well. Kernel information also we need to check it out here. So then once you download it here, so download it here, then here I think here it is available the new kernels, 7 SAP exe, SAP exe DB here. Then what I will do here, I will create a one folder. So separate folder for kernel. So it's a 754 300 patch level. So this is a 754 300 patch level here, right? So this is the way we can download, and we need to extract this kernels here. We need to extract the kernels here. So for this one, we need to log into the normally all the kernel upgrade, everything we have to perform using the SID ADM user. SID ADM user here means NWD we are doing. Then we can do with the NWD ADM. What is the password? Anyone change? Let me check. Or we can also do it the administrator, but I logged in with the different user here. So then in this case, what we can do, I need to have the SAP kernel, SAP car file. So other than that SID ADM, you are extracting any softwares, we need to have the, we need to have the SAP car command. We need SAP car, we required. So let me check where we have the SAP car. No, not this one. Otherwise, let me reset the password. Okay, I'm logging to the SID ADM user here. Okay, so here here you can see yeah, everywhere the kernel upgrade procedure is simple, same. Windows, just a mouse we are operating. Linux, we have to use the commands, copy command, paste commands, we have to use it. So that line when you are discussing the Linux administration, so that time you will come to know all those things here, right? So here you can see in the command prompt, in the with SID ADM in the command prompt, you have to type like so this plus work here. So then you will see the kernel version information here. Means either SAP level, you can just check this command. They may ask you what is the command to check the kernel version. Then you need to explain like So this plus work here. Okay, this plus work here. Then after that, we can log into the SAP system. So now OS level, we need to extract the all the kernel files. We have to extract it here. All the kernel files we have to extract it here. Go to the so SAP softwares. So where we have the kernel direct kernel you created, right? So this is the one. Then we have to extract it. Go to the command prompt mode. So then SAP car here. Okay. So then -xvr SAP exe underscore 300, the file name. Basically, file name first SAP exe, the order also very important, guys. Some people they may miss the order also. The order of extracting the file C is like order of extracting. These all are the small mistakes we do. Normally, day to day, normally we may get the some multiple requests from the friends, they may ask you what is the order of extracting the software SAP exe. SAP execdb. What are the kernel files? SAP exe, SAP execdb. These files we have to download it. Then review the release node. Then extract the kernel files which we are doing. Then request the downtime. So downtime is approved. Then we can do that. We can check it out further here, right? So that is what we can do. So now you see the files are getting extracted. So kernel files means whatever the in the kernel directory, all the kernel files we are replacing with the new kernel. We are replacing with the new kernel files here. We are replacing with the new kernel files. So means the latest kernel files. Latest means definitely there is a new bug fixes, latest features, all will be included, right? So that's why so we are using the this latest kernels we are updating here in the system. So there is a always the right order for extracting SAP exe. Then SAP execdb are the files to extract the so softwares and everything here. See how many files are there here getting extracted here. So that's why before the downtime itself, we need to get the extract of the latest kernels. We have to extract the latest kernels and keep it ready for the downtime. But because during the downtime, what we will do, we have to stop the SAP system. So copy the all the kernel files, whatever we have here, we need to copy and we need to place into the our existing exe directory like sys exe directory, SAP MMT, SAP MMT folder, that is the global exe direct double mount point. There we can just place the all the files here, global mount point in the exe. So there we can do this kind of things here. Here how many files are there? It's very oh my God, lot of files are there. These all are the .exe, .dll, .pdb files. So there are many files are there. So SAP is running means because of these files only. Because of OS level, these files are exist. That's why SAP system is up and running fine. Done. Okay, so SAP exe done. Just I am extracting the SAP exe DB also. So order is very important for everybody, right? 300 means which is the file first extract, SAP exe, SAP exe DB. So both are getting extracted here. Both are getting extracted here, right? So it's extracted. SAP exe extracted, then second exe DB got extracted here. So 300 means, so that is the version number. Normally we have to provide the full file name, but that's why I mentioned the 300 star I mentioned. So once you've done it, extraction is done. Then to stop the SAP system, we need to stop the SAP system here. So just go to the your MMC or stop SAP commands just to stop the SAP application. Stop the NWD application here. Stopping the SAP system, we have to do it. Right? So here we have the NWD system. So what we can do, right click of the NWD. So then click on the stop. Why? Because for doing the kernel upgrade, SAP has to be stopped. Why? Because SAP will depend on the kernel, right? So then when SAP is up, then how can we update the kernel? That's not possible. That's why we need to, so first of all, we need to do the, so, so stopping the SAP system here. So I have stopping the SAP system, right? SAP is getting stopped here. So server is shutting down here. Okay, it is stopped here. SAP got stopped here. So now what we can do here, let's start the if any services here. So let me check, are there any other services also up here? Why? Because in the Windows there are the some SAP start SRV process. We need to check that services also here. Go to the here NWD. So NWD. This is the one. We need to stop that process also here. Then okay, so now what we can do now, we can replace the so here we have the kernel files, right? New kernel files here, kernel, right? Kernel files here. Just to download the this kernel files. So just exclude the those two files which you downloaded. Just exclude these two files. Why? Because this is extracted files, again not required. So copy this all the files, go to the CD, USR, SAP, so NWD, sys, and exe, sysexe, then UC, NTADM. From here, we need to place it here. Sysexe directory, we need to replace it with all the files here. See here, all the kernel files are getting copied. It means new files will get override on the existing or old exe files here. Old exe files here, new files. So that is what I am doing now here. So as part of this configuration, see here, replace. Now all the files will be replaced here. Okay, so that's done. So files replacement is done here. So one folder is enough. One sys global DXC directory is enough. Sir, we have three locations, right? Why we have done only on the one folder here? So that's fine. One folder is fine here, right? So why? Because what will happen? So we have the three locations. What will happen? So we have to replace the files. Then sysexe directory, we have to replace it on the sysexe global exe directory. So global to local, this is a very important point. There is a SAP CPE utility program. SAP CPE utility program will copy the so kernels, the kernels from global to local directories here. SAP CTE utility program which will copy the kernel from global to local directories here. Okay, so that is the copy the files from here to here. It will copy the data here. That is the one of the important thing here. Important question also they may ask you. How the you are doing the kernel upgrade on the global exe directory CCXE, how the data will be moved to the local directory. This is the one of the important point here. So once done, here stopping the SAP system, replace it and start the. For Linux, there is one additional step for the Linux. So we need to execute the sap root.sh script in we have to execute the .sap root.sh script. We have to execute it in the from the kernel directory. So only Linux, this is the additional step here. So for the above systems, so for the Windows systems, no additional steps here. Only for Linux, we have the this is the additional steps we have to execute it. Then start the SAP system. So just we can start the SAP system here. Go to the SAP MMC here. Right. So before starting, we need to start the services right first. So here NWD, right? So start the NWD services here. Let's start the NWD services which you are trying to start it here. So we need to start it, from the MMC task manager. The services are there. We can start it. So it started, right? It's running status. So then just you can open the MMC. You can just open the MMC here. Okay. So open the MMC. Yeah, that is also one important point. Taking the backup of the existing kernel directory here. Backup means copy and paste into the separate location here. Stop the SAP, like in the sixth number step, we can use that one, taking the copy and backup also one of the important step here. So now when you start it here, now kernel upgrade will, so it will look the kernels here. It will look the kernels here now. So here ASCS is started. ASCS will start without any data, any dependency. ASCS will start here. So then here you can see it here. Here executable copy, SAP CPE executable copy. Why? Because from after the kernel upgrade, what will happen? SAP CPE program will copy the binaries from global exe directory to local exe directory when you are starting the SAP system here. See here it is copying. It is copying here. It is copying the data executable files here. It is copying, right? So then once it is copy done, then so the remaining dispatcher IJS, then as all the SAP process will be up here. All the SAP process will be up here. So then we can validate it here. Once the SAP system is started, we can also do the validation here. Validation means so we can log into the SAP. We can check the version information and all those things. We can check it out here. So sometimes what happens due to the issues, SAP it won't start. SAP it won't start due to the issues here. So then in this case we can think like, okay, we done the kernel upgrade wrong. So something wrong. So then that time so we will come to know here, right? So that is the main thing of the here. So let me start here. Let me log into the here NWD. Here it is connecting to the NWD. Please wait. So which means so still system is not started here. Still system not started here. So but here you can see server process is getting started. There is a error software connection. So we can check the logs why it is not getting started. So if you go to the NWD system, so we will come to know why it is not getting started here. Go to the NWD area. So there also we can execute the command to check the status here, whether kernel is updated or not. Okay, so here what we can do, so now previously 1300, right? So 1300, 753, 1300. Now we'll execute the same command after the kernel upgrade completed. So let's see, so what exactly will happen here, right? So now you see kernel got upgraded to the 754, the 300 patch level, 754, 300 patch level. From 753 to 754, the 300 patch level, it got upgraded, which means our kernel version got upgraded to the latest version. The latest versions here, it's got upgraded here. So this is the way we need to update the kernels to the latest version here. For Linux machines, the additional command is this one. Also, one of the pre-step is like here. So downloading the kernel and taking the backup, taking the backup of taking the backup of so backup of the so existing kernel folders, existing kernel directories here. So that is the first step. We have to take the backups. Something wrong, we can roll back the kernel upgrades. Something wrong, we can roll back the kernels here. That's why we can take the backup of the existing kernels and etc. We can take it out, right? So then once the start the SAP, replace the kernel files and start the SAP, then perform the health checks, normal health check like SM51, ST22, all those things we can check it out, all those things we can check it out. So this is the way we can do the, so we can do the kernel upgrade. Okay, it's clear, right? Any questions, anyone? So simple steps. So the procedure also same, but something goes wrong, entire your system will be corrupted, production system. Then we may get the delays and delaying our activities and project deliverables will may miss it out. So that's why, so kernel upgrade procedure is very simple, but it's a complicated procedure as well. Okay. So this is the way we have to do it. And we can also, whenever you want to upgrade it, whenever you want to downgrade it, we can downgrade it. We can upgrade it, we can downgrade it. So SAP level also you can log in, then you can check it out the version information, some other useful things you can also check it out in SAP level. So SAP level also go to the SM51, just check the SAP release information. So you can check it out from there also. So but sir, why this is the loading means kernel upgrade is done just now. So means it will definitely, as expected, it will take some time to open the load and everything here. To open the, so to open, to we have to log into the SAP system. Then we can with the user ID password, so we can check it out. So that's why sometimes what happens after the kernel upgrade, system will be some slow. In that case, we need to run the sgen, a load generator program that you know, right? Sometimes we may have to run that program. All the programs and everything will be compiled. Why? Because of the kernel upgrade, where kernel binaries are latest version. So it will be latest. So sometimes it may create the it will be latest. So uh, then sometimes kernel upgrade latest, then we can update it here. Now see, still it is processing, then we can run the SZ. Sometimes it's not required. Here programs are compiling one by one, one by one. But when we check the operating system level, our kernel has been done. Our kernel is done. Just log into the SAP system, perform the health checks, whether everything is okay or not. Then we can conclude like our kernel install, kernel upgrade is successfully completed. Okay, so that's fine. Like offline also we can do the some status checks, health checks and everything. Okay, any questions, anyone? It's clear, right? Kernel upgrade. So simple steps we can perform it. So we have the old